Folks, David here on the Vintage Future once again, and today I want to do a review on these black sign Vocalion jeans. I've had them for a year now, worn them 100 times or so, and washed them about 15 times. They are fading pretty well. This is a 15-ounce fabric. I don't know if it's sanforized or unsanforized. It was really hard to tell from all the descriptions from both Black Sign and Standard and Strange and other people that sell these. But I think they're unsanforized, one wash. Anyways, I bought them used when the other guy, a buddy on Stitch Down Discord, had only worn them a handful of times. And yeah, I picked them up from him and I've been wearing them ever since, and they've been fantastic. And the biggest thing about these, honestly, is the design. The first time I saw these, what really caused me to fall in love with these and just caught my eye was Jeff the Denim Dentist. He was wearing these and posted a bunch of pictures on Instagram, and these have such a vibe. So cool. Of all the jeans I've ever had, these have the biggest vibe. And I think the reason for that is this. So as you can see, the back design here is really unique. This is modeled after an 1890 Levi 501 four-pocket jean, called the four-pocket because, as you can see, there's no second pocket on the back. So you've got this back pocket, and then you've got two front pockets and the coin pocket or watch pocket, but no other back pocket, okay? So it's modeled after that 1890 Levi 501 four-pocket jean, all the standard features of that. It's got the back cinch. This is a spike cinch, back cinch, exposed rivets on the back pocket. Let me turn this around and I'll show you. Also, there's a crotch rivet right here. And yeah, the button fly and all that stuff. So all those put together, that is the classic four pocket. But what's really special about this is it has no yoke. Like most jeans have a yoke that goes across the back right here. And what that does is it enables them to kind of shape that top block a little more. And this doesn't have the yoke. Functionally, I don't notice any difference, but the big difference is the look of it. It's just a really beautiful jean. And I think that unbroken surface area of the back really displays the denim and kind of makes you see the jeans in a new light. So the other thing about this is the rise. This is like this is the size 32, 17.75 inch back rise and like a 13-inch front rise. I don't wear them above my belly button and stuff. I just wear them normal height. So instead of a high rise, it's kind of like a drop crotch. And that in and of itself is also a really nice vibe. What they've done is they've taken that reproduction idea of the 1890 Levi and they modernized it. So this has the modern construction methods, poly thread, so it's going to last longer. I don't know, flat felled inseams, all this kind of stuff, and that's all new and updated as per modern specs. And so this is going to be more durable than an old pair of Levi's, but it's going to have the look. Also, what they've done is they added belt loops. So with the originals, an 1890 Levi, you're going to have just suspender buttons. And by adding the belt loops, they're much more practical for modern use. And also the cool thing about that is when you tuck your shirt in, you get this really nice silhouette, right? This like hourglass kind of look as everything narrows toward the waistband. That's a really nice aesthetic. You know, obviously it depends a bit on your body shape. But for me anyways, it's really nice. So I like that as opposed to wearing them with suspenders. One, because I just wouldn't wear suspenders. But two, you know, the way you would size these is a fitted waistband instead of like, if you're sizing for suspenders, you could do a fitted waistband, but often you're doing something that's just a hair roomy and you don't get quite the same look, you know, if you're suspending these with those suspenders. So some other vintage details. I already talked about the exposed rivets here, but we've got this back cinch. It's a spike cinch. So you can kind of see the spikes in there. Obviously, I didn't poke them all the way through. I don't do that. That's not my style. and this is held up just fine. It's not like tearing or anything, and it hasn't slipped at all. I've had some tension cinches which have slipped, but this one has not. And it's selvage. You can see that. That's really cool. Another vintage detail that these had, well, it's not really a vintage detail, but sort of, is it did have suspender buttons on the inside here, 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 and here. But they weren't like a metal style button, right? They're more like the bone or plastic buttons you would see on a button-up shirt, like a flannel. And that way you could wear suspenders, but they're hidden on the inside. I knew I was never going to use those, so I just chopped those off. But that is one detail that some of you will enjoy. Just a quick look at the Selvage ID. Yeah, it's a red line, kind of, yeah, again, vintage inspired. It's supposed to kind of be like the old school Levi ones that you would see. Thinner, you know, it's not this big fat one. It's really thin, and it's got the red line instead of a different color like you would see on a lot of more modern jeans. Yeah, another thing they've done is they've got like these like cloth patches. Kind of useless because after just like 2 washes, they were already totally disintegrating. But they're a cool feature. Same right here. This is the, yeah, this is black sign. But yeah, it was already like disintegrating after the first couple washes. You can see some roping going on. Some roping. That stuff's really cool. Flipping it around, and you can see some other cool stuff. Okay, so as I said, there's the exposed crotch rivet. That's a really cool vintage detail. I love that. You've got the donut buttons, another cool vintage detail. And then this coin / watch pocket. It's like a shield pocket shape. Really nice. Another thing I'm a huge fan of is they have period accurate pocket bags. So they didn't always use the same pocket bags, but this is one of many prints you'll see on vintage Levi's. And this is, as far as I've heard, I had trouble verifying this, but as far as I've heard, this particular print, what they were doing with that is they would find cloth, they would find fabric that would be used for bed sheets, and they would use it for pockets. And it was this pattern right here. So, you know, vintage collectors will see this and be like, oh, I see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to copy those old school mattress sheet, you know, linens, pocket bags. So that's really cool. I don't know how true that is, but pretty sweet. We can see from the tag here that it's a size 32, made in Japan. But then here it says Vintage Blue Incorporated, made in Japan. So 100% cotton. So Black Sign is not manufacturing these. They are the designer, and this is their brand. But it looks like they are getting this third-party Vintage Blue to actually do the manufacturing. But yeah, tons of chain stitching and stuff, just like you would normally see. In here, you can see the outline of the stitching for the cinch back right there. That's really cool. Yeah, gold thread throughout. So I hemmed these, and I didn't use a chain stitch, which is kind of dumb. But even so, I did it early enough to where I'm getting some roping. I think that's really cool. Yeah, this 15-ounce denim is it's nice. It's thick, so it has some structure, but it still drapes really well. And so yeah, I'm really, really digging these jeans. So the big thing with these though is the beauty of the design. That yokeless back is great, and yeah, they style so well. You could do like a really relaxed vibe where you have an untucked shirt and everything's just kind of baggy, really cool and chill. You can also do, yeah, kind of smart looking, clean, vintage aesthetic with your shirt tucked in and stuff. You can make these look a little modern if you want, or you can go heavily vintage depending on how you style them. They work with larger boots, I found, and round toe shoes, but pointy or almond shoes they don't work really well with, because these legs, at a size 32, this is like a 10-inch leg opening right here. So yeah, it's big, but not too big. So yeah, you definitely aren't going for like a slim aesthetic or anything like that with this pair. And I'd say in this lighting, that's actually a pretty accurate color, that what you're looking at right here. So yeah, it's like a steely blue is what I would call it. It's like this powdery steely blue at this point. Now, I found some pictures from Black Sign of what these look like after like 5+ years of hard wear. And these look like they're going to fade really nicely. It's probably going to take me a ton of time to fade these because I have other jeans also, and these are not my main pair, and I'm okay with that. I kind of strategize personally. I'll say like, okay, this pair is my main pair, and then this is more of a specialty pair, so I won't wear it as much. And this particular pair is one of my specialty pairs. So as far as downsides, I love pretty much everything about these jeans except for the pockets. So the front pockets, and I've shared this in other jean reviews, where they don't have big pockets. These pockets are tiny, and I do not like that. I have to fight to get my hands in these pockets, and I think that's super ridiculous, especially on a big jean like this. Yeah, I mean, it's, 17, almost 18-inch back rise, 13-inch front rise. You got these huge, like 10-inch leg opening legs, and up here, I can't remember. I think it's like 13 inches across right here. There's no excuse, and yeah, it can't be an aesthetic thing either, because it's like, dude, just make it a little bit bigger. On this huge jean, you totally have the space, the surface area to do that. So that's an issue. The other thing, it's kind of intrinsic to the design, but you've got the fourth pocket, I guess you would call it, on the back here, but you don't have the fifth pocket. And so, of course, you're going to miss that sometimes because most of us are used to having 2 pockets back there. So it's like, man, where do I put my phone and my wallet? Often I put both of them in that pocket. It's large enough to fit both. I mean, see my hand. It's like the size of my hand, right? So it's pretty big, but still, that's kind of bulky to put your phone and your wallet back there. Yeah, so that's going to take some getting used to, but it's totally worth it for the vibe. I guess what I'm saying is these are super, 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 super cool jeans to me. And it's not something you're going to buy for how practical it is, because in this way it's not. But you know what? Just stick your phone or your wallet or whatever it is, stick it in your jacket pocket or whatever, There's ways around this. But I just want to let you know that ahead of time. I really love these jeans. I think you should check them out. They are well worth the price. I think they look incredible. And let your jeans take you to places more important than the jeans themselves. See you next time.